I guess the three goals of traffic calming are to draw attention, to reduce the distance pedestrians have to cross, and then to help drivers check their speed.
You're listening to the Art Cityscape. Welcome to another episode of the Art Cityscape podcast. On this episode, the mayor is joined by Jeff Anderson, who is the city engineer and assistant public works director. They discuss some temporary changes to decrease speeds and improve pedestrian safety at a crosswalk on Canyon Road. You'll learn about how street design can calm traffic. You'll also hear that the city council and staff are looking forward to learning from this project as they consider future adjustments to other intersections in the city. Enjoy.
Okay, well, welcome, Jeff. We appreciate you taking the time to be able to spend a few moments out of your busy schedule to talk a little bit about a subject that we're going to address today. But first of all, why don't you take a moment just to introduce yourself to the citizens, who you are, what you do for the city, and kind of your background and that sort of thing.
Okay. My name is Jeff Anderson. I've been with the city since 2005. Moved up here from Arizona, and currently am the city engineer / assistant public works director for the city. With that, I oversee and manage the engineering division and the streets and solid waste divisions for the city.
So if a street has a little wag to it, that's your fault?
Yeah. If it looks like a drunk sailor designed it, you can there is a reason and a rhyme to it, but yeah, blame it on me. So. Well,
I joke a little bit with you, but the reality is we appreciate your service, and actually you do a remarkable job for the city, so we really appreciate it. And the citizens, they don't know the amount of work and effort that goes into public works, and they only find out when they have a problem. And then it becomes very, very pointed to them. So right.
If I'm off the 5 o'clock news or you don't have to call me, we've done a good job.
That's exactly right. I explained to somebody the other day that my job as a mayor is that when you flip the switch, it goes on, and when you flush the toilet, it goes away. So
those are the engineering secrets. We'll keep them. Yeah.
Well, we want to talk a little bit about a intersection that we've had in the city, and it's a very congested intersection. There are many intersections that we have that we're quite concerned about, but this one has to do with public safety. Right. And we've had some circumstances with it through the years, and we're concerned about it. We know that the high school is going to be doing with the building of a new high school in the location of where the high school is presently. There's going to be some realignment of some roads, and some roads are going to be coming out in different places. And so we know that what we're talking about here is going to be temporary, because there's certainly going to be some changes to the alignment of some of these roads. But we wanted to not wait until they actually built the high school to do some safety measures to help the public and students and that whatnot to be safe. And so we want to talk about an intersection. The intersection really has to do with Canyon Road and what's called Red Devil Drive.
Correct.
And the city council has gone through lots of iterations. You've been good about giving us some engineering on some options there. So we want to talk a little bit about what's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks before school starts, and so that the citizens are aware of it. So why don't you take a moment and just talk about some of the dynamics of Canyon Drive, Canyon Road, and some of the challenges that we have with that road as from a speed standpoint and from an obstacle standpoint and from a usage standpoint, so that maybe those who don't drive that road at least understand why we're concerned about it. So.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Canyon Road has always been kind of the gateway to our Hobble Creek Canyon, a great amenity in the city. You come up 4 South at the top, go through the roundabout that was installed several years ago, and then it's pretty much no stop signs, no anything until all the way to the canyon. So people get anxious. They get on that straight road. It's big, wide open with nothing to hinder their speed. Speeds tend to increase along there. Right now, there are only 2 pedestrian crossings of Canyon Road at the roundabout at 4 South itself. And then we've done one here at 620 South, affectionately known as Red Devil Drive, to allow for access of students and people crossing Canyon Road and coming down to the high school. In the last couple of years, we've tried to enhance visibility and safety at that intersection. We've painted the visible, they call them ladder crosswalks, vertical lines, give it a little bit more visibility, and then we've put up flashing beacons, push button activated flashing lights that will draw attention before kids or people cross the street there. Those measures have helped. We've continued to have some issues of speed, and pedestrian safety has always been one concern at that location. Ultimately, in our master plan, our greater plan, as the high school builds out, we are going to realign and do some intersection improvements there. But in the interim, we felt like there was a need to calm the traffic, try to help give the pedestrians an easier crossing of the road, and do something to try to reduce speeds in this area. So we've, at the direction of the city council, put together quite a few options, presented them to you, and have kind of come to settled on one that is a temporary measure, and I use that in quotation marks. It'll be temporary through the school year, but very easily and quickly put out there to draw visibility and attention to this crossing. It's going to be utilizing a mini roundabout scenario.
Okay, we'll talk about that in just a second, but you're talking about this, making it so pedestrians crossing. I've crossed that many times, and it's exciting, to put it bluntly, is that people traditionally are, like you say, are moving at a fairly fast speed, and they're feeling very comfortable, and it's a very high speed area to have a crosswalk.
Correct.
And I know that I'm not the only one who's kind of had the experience of going across that, and people are not paying as much attention as they possibly could, because they certainly have other things on their mind, and we get that sort of a thing. So the purpose for what we're proposing here now, help the citizens understand when a new realignment will take place. Is this going to be in a year or 2 years or 3 years? Do you know roughly when that would be taking place?
We're looking in the next 2 to 3 years. That's in conjunction with the high school being reconstructed. In that area, there's about 6 different intersections that will be altered or changed with the new high school site. New road coming off of 4 South, past the high school to a roundabout down the hill. This intersection, we're going to take the leg of Houts Avenue and pull it and create a 4-way intersection here. The city owns that corner, that vacant lot on the corner. They own that property, and we're looking to line things up, realign it, and some type of intersection enhancement. We're still looking at the best scenario for an intersection. If it's a signal, a roundabout, what could go there and be the best for the city there. So 2 to 3 year time period is what we're looking at.
Okay. So principally at the bottom of the funnel, what the city is trying to do is to create a safer environment for pedestrians, to calm the traffic to some degree, to make it a safer crossing for people. And this is not the only place in the city that we have some of these issues. And we're certainly concerned about this one and like to be able to do something in relationship to this. And we'll be looking at other ones throughout the city to be able to help the pedestrians get across the street safely.
Yeah, this is really our first toe in the water, if you will, for traffic calming. It can be done in kind of a test or trial period with flexible delineators, temporary curbing, still making it safe, drawing attention. So I guess the 3 goals of traffic calming are to draw attention, to reduce the distance pedestrians have to cross, and then to help drivers check their speed. So those are kind of the 3 goals in what we've done here. Canyon Road right now is 40 feet wide from curb to curb, and that's the distance somebody would have to get across while trying to avoid 2-way traffic. What we've proposed is taking that and constricting the lanes down, kind of narrowing things down. So now essentially
at the crosswalk area.
So at the crosswalk, it'll be roughly 24 to 25 feet that somebody would have to come across. There'll still be the push button flashing lights, but we'll constrict down the distance and put delineators up.
Now, explain what a delineator is.
Basically, it's those posts. They're a flexible plastic post anchored to the ground that just kind of direct traffic, saying from your lanes are here, they're now going to be pushed in here. And it just kind of cordons off an area of safe for the pedestrian and defines where the new lane area would be for the drivers.
And over time, engineering-wise, as you constrict the lanes down, people have a tendency to slow their speeds.
Absolutely. Any change, you start to see these delineators, you see a traffic circle in the middle. All of that is going to draw visual attention, and most people are going to react by hovering over the brake or even tapping the brake and slowing down. And that's exactly what we're trying to do there.
So you're going to restrict the lanes down from 40 feet down to roughly?
About a 24-foot, so 12-foot lane in each direction, but we're getting rid of all the extra width. And we're going to color that a different color, and then just create this crosswalk where it is now, but in a much shorter distance.
And I assume that the 12-foot width lane is about what they get on a freeway. I mean, it's a legal width as far as traffic goes. So.
Yeah, we've actually got lanes as narrow as 10 throughout the city, but 12 will still allow for your traditional passenger car and a truck and a camper. That we don't want to inhibit people getting up the canyon, but we definitely would just want to slow them down.
We'll talk a little bit about not only the narrowing of the lanes, but there's some other things that are going to go along there that are also going to help calm traffic just a little bit. Do you want to address some of those things?
Absolutely. So we've talked about the bulb outs. It's kind of curb extensions. It's making the lanes narrower and also pushing where people would turn, the curb or the corner of the road out a little bit. But we've also placed a mini roundabout, a center island in. So similar to the roundabout at 4 South and Canyon, this is just going to be a much, much smaller version. The center island is about 16-foot diameter. It will be flexible, a rubberized curb with some asphalt in the middle and a single signpost just saying roundabout here. And all it's there to do is to make the car change direction. Instead of a straight shot through this intersection, if you see an obstruction up there, you're going to tap on the brakes, have to turn a little to the right, turn back to the left, and you'll be able to maneuver through the intersection. But it's going to bring your speed down. It's going to make you aware. You're going to be on that brake, and there'll be the pedestrian crossing just in advance of that. So it's going to check your speed and just make you aware of something's different in this area.
But it's not the size of the one on 4 South.
No.
But it's much, much smaller. No property is going to be used of private property. It's just within the confines of the present road. Is that correct?
Yeah, we did not alter the curb and gutter at all. So we just kind of took the footprint of what we had as a palette and said, okay, we can do a 16-foot diameter. We can do about 16-foot travel lane in there, effective use of the lane. And then we just use delineators, paint to take the lanes and kind of push them out. It'll deflect you out to the right and then have you go around the circle and come back. So
from somebody who is not an engineer, what it's going to do is you're going to be coming to the intersection. You're going to see this lane restriction. It will slow you down. And in front of you will be the crosswalk to slow people down. And there's going to be the flashers if people are crossing. Do they activate those flashers, or is that automatically done when somebody gets in the...
It's a push button, so if somebody's at the crosswalk waiting to go, they push the button to activate the lights.
Okay, and then they'll move toward if they're heading up the canyon, they'll move toward the roundabout, which will cause them to slow a little bit more to go around and then proceed down Canyon Road. Does that sound right?
That's right.
Okay. Well, I think it's important for people to know that some are going to be frustrated. You know, the objective is not to frustrate you, but to gently create a little bit calmer traffic along there. And I think we have enough studies to know that people do speed along that route. Right. It's a natural place to do it. You know, they're thinking about, I've got a golf golf appointment here real quick, or I've got to get up to the canyon, or I've got to get to some amusement up at Kelly's Grove or Jolly's, and they're not thinking about they just have barely come out of that roundabout on 4 South, and now their next thought is, what have I got to do to get up to the canyon?
Yeah.
And so this is just, I think, a great way to calm people down and to calm their speed just a little bit in relationship to it. Do you find that, did the studies show that this is something that does work?
In utilizing this, utilize national documents that put out by the Federal Highways and the International Transportation Association. These have been shown to reduce speeds, to increase pedestrian safety, even accidents at a T intersection. If somebody's turning left, they have a higher intensity and higher incident of T-bone accidents just at stop signs, stop conditions. This, with a center island, reduces the severity of accidents, even vehicular, and just does reduce speeds. I mean, the posted speed limit out there is 35. These should check you down into the 20s for that brief time, that small instance.
That crosswalk.
Exactly.
One other characteristic on that intersection is that the stop signs, which are now along Canyon Road and Red Devil Drive, they'll turn into yield signs, correct?
Correct.
Just like a regular roundabout.
Just like, yeah, we kind of had the learning curve with the one at 4 South and Canyon Road. People have become accustomed, or at least the residents that use it on a daily basis, realize you yield to the left, go through, you come up. If there's nobody at the intersection, you can cruise right through and it'll hardly affect your time at all. It's the one at Canyon and 4 South has really proven itself with the junior high. It's helped keep traffic moving, and we've actually had a decrease in accidents at that location. So it's been good there. Now we're going to try it a little further up the road.
Well, it's interesting, is that as frustrating as it is, and as much as we're sensitive to time and getting things done, this really is only going to slow somebody down and use up, 5 seconds?
If that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not significant, but the escalation in safety to citizens, pedestrians, students crossing that busy road is, I think, very much enhanced. And the City Council is very much in favor of this. We went through a lot of time thinking about what would be the right thing to do. Nobody likes to be restricted, but at the same token, we have to look out for the public good. So. And
we've appreciated the City Council has been vigilant in ensuring that this gets there. They've been very good to work with, supportive of difference. This has never been done in Springville. This is a first try here. So it's kind of thinking outside the box, but it's nothing new. If you look at it at a national level, this has been done Orem, Salt Lake, all over the country, and have been found to be very effective. We're not on the cutting edge here, but we're definitely doing something that I think has a proven track record.
That's good. That's good. Well, I think that anything else you'd like to add in relationship to this?
Just ask for your patience, as there will be a couple of closures of Canyon Road as we get this installed. And it is going to be new, but sometimes new is definitely a good thing.
Wonderful. Well, Jeff, we appreciate your time. And just from the city council standpoint, is that we're very supportive of this. We think this is the way to go to help create better safety for our citizens. And so if you have questions, you're welcome to let us know. You're welcome to come down and during the public comment of any city council meeting, you're very welcome to address this or any other issue that you might have. So again, thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Art Cityscape podcast, and thank you to Mayor Matt Packard and Jeff Anderson for participating in this episode. We'll catch you again soon. Have a great day.